Howdy, partners. Just kidding. Hi, guys. So we are, of course, having a fun day. I mean, no, this is my regular work outfit. This is what I wear when TC and I are doing computer work for the day. You can vouch, it's true. No, of course, we were shooting some fun content today for my website, of course, my OnlyFans, and Patreon. It was very nurse themed, which is always fun. I like a good theme. I know lots of people don't think of this as cosplay, but it is because it's a costume. I find for me, I like to have the concept that cosplay can have many aspects to it. It just doesn't have to be the extreme cartoon, the extreme video game characters. It's generally just described as costume play. So, costume play. So we have some fun things to go over with you guys today. Not just the usual, but we like doing that too. We're set up in our guest room, which we don't shoot in as often because, well, just the way things work out in this room for organization, because we live in a small condo, it's a little more cramped and the angles are not quite as preferred as our bedroom, but I still try to make it work every once in a while so I'm not bored and you guys aren't bored. So what do we do and what are we using today? Now, I'm going to let TC describe this to you a little bit better, but we have two items to go over for you guys. One.
So that's, it's basically just a calibration card or something. There's lots of different styles and sizes you can use. This one is nice because it stores in that little pouch, right? And it folds up in a really weird way.
Got it.
Yeah, super easy.
But I think we're not supposed to touch these parts, right?
Yeah, I mean, you try to take your
not
hands
to.
off that because your fingers will have oils and whatnot. But what this allows you to do is you can put it on your belt or something, or you can do whatever.
Careful when you take it out of the bag.
Oh yeah, it's springy. Yeah, I have a big one that's like 40 by 60, and it'll get you. So what you want to do is basically we're doing a lot of iPhone. This is being recorded on the iPhone 11 Pro in 4K 60 frames per second, and I'm using an app called Filmic, which allows you to record at 100 megabits per second. It's a huge data rate file, which gives us a massive file, and then we, of course, have to crop that down for YouTube or whatever, so it's going to be less. But this allows me to, with the Filmic app, I can control focus, I can control my exposure, I can set my white balance. So right now, I've got, I just put this in front of the screen where I can see it, and I put my little reticle on the iPhone on the gray balance card. Now that sets my exposure for me, and I can lock it. And then I also put the same reticle on the white side or the gray side. It doesn't matter too much for a white balance. Lock the white balance, and then now it's not, bouncing around, getting greener, getting redder, getting, whatever color it wants to be based on whatever. A lot of the iPhone does a lot of calibrations, and it's pretty good. But if you've got colored outfits on, that's gonna mess it up quite a bit. Especially, it can mess it up from just going to the middle of the outfit, see where the waistline and the skirt is white, and the iPhone will think, I'm going to balance it this way. Then go up where there's red, and it's going to go, oh, I'm going to have to do it the other way. So it'll change around just as the model moves through the scene. So I've got to lock all that. That way it's not a nightmare in post.
And then we also do the same thing with photos, but we also use this very fandangled, fancy little guy. You've probably seen it in our regular BTS if you're on my Patreon or my website.
That's the X-Rite Color Checker Passport. And I think most photographers will have some version of this, or videographers. That side is for just setting your exposure, setting your white balance. And then there's another side with all the colors that I actually have a plug-in that snaps into Lightroom. So I take a photo of that, and then I create a DNG file which creates a color profile, and it just sort of sets all the levels so that all the yellow and the green and the blue and the magenta and all those different colors, the shades are brought up to the same balance.
I'm doing my best Vanna White. And usually this is the photo that sometimes TC gives to me to put in my Canon sets, but sometimes I don't include it because I'm like, oh. Usually when we're doing this photo, I try to give him something to smile about later, so he gets a, or something of that nature as I hold up the color card, because really what I'm doing is irrelevant. It's just the card that matters. So those are kind of like the stuff that we use when we're doing video or photos to help for color correction. It can be quite tricky, especially depending on how your monitor is calibrated. So we try to use as much tools like this as we can, even if they're maybe irrelevant or overused, like we didn't need it necessarily for that shoot, just so we can verify and have something to verify with to make sure our colors are really great. I will, of course, link those 2 items that we use every time in the description below, because I don't know if we've actually gone over them with you guys before. So I will include those, as well as a link to the website for the Filmic Pro app that we use on our iPhone, so that you guys can also get those goodies if you are so choosing. Thank you guys for paying attention, watching, and being awesome and part of my channel. I really do appreciate it. If you guys want to have more BTS action of like actual photo shoots, those are of course all on the Patreon, which is described below, or on my usual site, and sometimes the OnlyFans. So if you guys want to have some fun and be totally wicked, there's a button right here, and it's really awesome if you push it. And these are videos that are on my channel that you probably might like, or maybe you didn't even know I had. I hope you guys have a killer day.